Some of the greatest words that I heard last night. Dad, do you want to go on that walk by yourself? And I knew this was an opportunity. So I just said immediately, no, do you want to go? And she said, perchance. And this was my daughter, 16 years old, McKenna. If you have a 16-year-old daughter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That you take every single opportunity to be able to spend any bit of time with them possible. Well, I haven't got a chance to be able to see her. Her mom and her went to New York for their annual girls trip. And she said that last night. And so we just went on a walk around the neighborhood. I was trying to walk as slow as possible because I didn't want any of this time to end. And as we walked, the conversation was very simple. It was just about encouragement. And I was telling her that, you know, when you're encouraged, it's amazing the superpower that it'll give you, the unfair advantage that it'll give you, because when pitfalls come in, when challenges come in, when distractions come in, and you're truly encouraged, and you have that encouragement wrapped around you, it gives you an unfair advantage because it almost gives you a force field around you. And when I got to spend time this morning, my alone time, God shared with me that encouragement will help us to avoid the pitfalls that can overwhelm us. And then he backed it up with Proverbs 23 that lists off all the things that are coming that can be avoided when you're filled up with encouragement. But you'll be amazed at the list of things that encouragement can almost circumvent. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got two shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Good morning, everybody. We're actually going live on Instagram Live, and if you're there with me, I want to tell you how much I love you. I would love to invite you to check out the podcast too, but I'm going to take you through the podcast live today. I haven't gotten a chance to be able to do this, so I think it's kind of cool. They're over here, so if I'm looking over this way, they are there with me on Instagram, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we're talking about encouragement and the power of that. We actually built a whole entire company on encouragement, and it was just taking people and the encouragement. Now, don't get this wrong with or get it twisted with soft parenting, or I guess that's what they call it, soft parenting, where you just encourage the kid acts a fool, and then you're just like, oh, wow, I just want to tell you that you're doing great even though you're not. It's not lying to people. It's not puffing them up. It's not gassing them up, as my kids would say. It's actual encouragement, like encouragement that's rooted and based in truth, and the truth of who you are, and that you were designed exactly perfect, exactly where you're at right now. Berlin, I see you. I've been watching you, and I want to tell you that you're amazing. Watching your tennis journey is incredible. So the encouragement part is huge, and I'll use Berlin as an example. She's my niece. And my friend Julie and my friend Eric, they were partners of ours in our Chicago location, and just absolutely phenomenal friends. They have always encouraged Berlin that she's going to be the best, that she already is the best, and they're constantly encouraging her to move towards her potential. So they're not just talking about where she's been. They're not talking about just where she's at, although they know that and they encourage that. They're encouraging her to what is possible in life and what can happen. And this encouragement is such an unfair advantage, and I find that it's something that most of us lack. And if you are a person that lacks encouragement, I want to encourage every one of you exactly where you're at right now, that you're exactly where you need to be at the exact right time. But we're also going to talk about some pitfalls, talk about things that are challenging that come about that literally encouragement will put a force field around you. And that force field of encouragement, again, it's not the puffing up, it's not the gassing up, it's not lying to people and telling them that they are something when they're not. It's just literally telling them that something that is rooted and grounded in truth. And what I find is, I was talking with my daughter last night when we went on our walk. And one of the biggest challenges, and I want to speak directly to parents and young ladies, because young ladies need more encouragement than ever. Because if you don't have encouragement, like true encouragement, ladies, you're going to choose a boy who's stupid. And when I say stupid boys come in and they find girls who have not been encouraged, who are not solid in who they are. And then what happens is they become the person who encourages them, but they don't encourage them in the right way. They encourage them to add manipulation. And I've seen this happen so often and people will refer to it as daddy issues. Oh, the person's got daddy issues. So then they move towards this. Just be conscious. I've got a 16-year-old daughter. I want to fill her up with the most encouragement possible. So that way, when a silly circumstance comes in, she can combat that as quickly as possible with the encouragement that she's rooted and grounded in. And this is a thing with my two kids, completely different. My son, 13, my daughter, 16. When I say to my daughter, "You're the greatest," she says, "I know." To my son, I say, "You're the greatest." He says, "No, Dad, you're the greatest." So he's constantly encouraging that way. My daughter is, got a little sarcastic personality. But what I realized this morning as I sat down in Proverbs 23, it just listed off all the things that are coming that can be avoided when we're filled up with true encouragement. And as we list them off, I've got something for you at the end. So make sure and just listen to the whole podcast or watch the whole podcast if you are. And for those of you on Instagram, I am live in the studio right now, and we're recording. So check it out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and everywhere else you get your podcast. But this encouragement, I believe that the encouragement needs to be daily. I think that it needs to be truthful. And I think that people need to hear about the great things that they do and the great person that they are and the great things that are around them. And it goes in this list. Number one, encourage people where they came from. Number two, encourage people where they're at right now. And then number three is encourage them where they can go. If you get those out of order, you have the tendency to put a little pressure on people, because I tell you, I did this for years inside of our company. I would see a person that was 19 years old and I knew what they could accomplish, so I'd only encourage that. And what that would cause is undue pressure on that person. But when I took the time to understand where they were at, where they were from, then I encouraged where they were at. Then I could encourage where they could go to. But I had to do it in those steps, and I learned a lot about encouragement. And literally, we built a whole entire company on simply encouraging people. But you have to do it specifically. You have to use their name, and we'll get into that more. So a couple of things that I want to talk about as far as the pitfalls is when you're encouraged, comparisons seem silly. When you're encouraged, I was talking about my niece, Berlin. She is a phenomenal athlete and unbelievable. I don't find that she compares herself. When I was around her, when we were spending as much time as we were with her, she wouldn't be looking at other kids and saying, "I need to be better than that person, better than this person. I need to do that." The reason why, because she was rooted and grounded and solid in who she was. And so comparison, when you're encouraged, comparison will seem silly to you, and it doesn't even seem like something that you want to do. When you're encouraged, you focus on the things that truly matter. You won't focus on the things that are temporal or when you have a lack of encouragement. I find that we grasp for straws. If you read the book, Good to Great, read the follow-up, which is probably one of my favorites, How the Mighty Fall. And it talks about this, about people that are companies, and it takes the companies from Good to Great, the book, and then it talks about how most of them fell. And when they fell, they were grasping at straws. They were grasping at things because they weren't encouraged. When you're encouraged, you'll focus on the things that truly matter. And when you focus on the things that truly matter, then the things that truly matter will grow and they'll become stronger. When you're encouraged, You will only go where you're valued. And this is, again, to the young ladies out there and to the young men, is when you're not encouraged, you have the tendency to seek out people who will give you the validation, but sometimes that validation comes from sources that can't sustain it and is a lot of times not good for you. So when you're encouraged, you will respect the past, you will seek knowledge, you will invite discipline, you will gain wisdom, instruction, and insight. And I tell you, being encouraged is probably one of the most unfair advantages that you can ever have in your entire life. When you're encouraged, you will seek things that feed you. My friend Greg Reed said, if it feeds you, feed it more. If it eats, cut it off. And think about that in our lives, the things that draw from us, the things that take away from us, the things that suck energy from us, then cut them off. The things that feed you energy, the things that lift you up, the things that encourage you, add more to it, feed it more. When you're encouraged, it will level your head. And my dad and my mom would always say this, be level-headed. And I didn't understand exactly what this meant. But level-headed means that you're sober of mind, that you're not just, and when I say sober of mind, some people get offended and be like, oh, you're talking about alcohol, things like that. I'm saying that anything that will take you off of your focus to understand and know how incredible you are and how incredible your journey is, and that you're exactly in the right place at the right time because God is big enough to have you in another place. Anything that'll take you off of that, cut that off. But I tell you, when you surround yourself with encouragement, when you have true encouragement that is happening in your life, and so when you do that, what'll happen is it'll add an unfair advantage that will wrap around you, and it'll level your head. When you're encouraged, you will not seek validation from places that are foolish. And my daughter and I were talking about this last night. And, as we're walking, I said, I want to encourage you always, but I don't want to gas you up. I don't want to tell you things that aren't true. I want to tell you that you're incredible as the woman that you are. You got a phenomenal personality. You're incredibly intelligent. You got ingenuity. You got wisdom beyond your years. And I want you to know that because there's going to be times where people will come in and they are going to want to. They're going to see you. You're a very beautiful young lady. You got an incredible personality. You got a great sense of humor. You're super intelligent. And they're going to want to take advantage of that. And there's going to be foolish places that try and give you validation. But if you are truly encouraged in who you are and you're steeped in this all the time, when you come into a foolish situation, you're going to see it from a mile away. And that's where I want to encourage every one of you today. If you aren't filled with encouragement, you will be worn out, you will be down, you will struggle, and you will strive. You will most likely seek out a remedy to dull the pain, a remedy that in most cases is a temporary fix. And so as I read through this today, the power of encouragement is so vital, and it's free. And some of us think like, oh, well, I don't have parents that encourage me. I don't have friends that encourage me. I don't have all these things. But what I want to do is I want to flip it around. If you understand and know how powerful encouragement is, then you'll go give it to every single person around you. And when you start giving it to every single person around you, you'll start to find that you won't have to seek it anymore. It will be drawn to you. The encouragement that we're talking about isn't just blindly telling someone that they're great. And I want to emphasize that as much as possible. Because people will take that out of context and be like, oh, well, I need to give tough love. I need to tell someone exactly. Now, we need to encourage people. People don't need to hear that they're wrong based off of what you see as right. People need to be encouraged at the highest levels. And when they are, you'll draw out the best in that person because you'll take the weight off of them. The encouragement that we all need is rooted and grounded in truth of who you were designed to be. Imagine for a second to be encouraged that you are the greatest and believing that at your core. True encouragement unlocks potential, breaks cycles in families, and elevates you to levels that can only be imagined. Where can we get this type of encouragement? Like I said, some people will say, my mom won't encourage me. My dad won't encourage me. My friends, I don't know where to go. You must give it, and then it'll come to you. Today, I charge every one of you to encourage with laser-like precision. Use someone's name, specifically tell them the things that they're great at. Tell them the things in their life that are amazing that you see and that you're inspired by. Do this by call, by email, by text, by FaceTime, however you can. But I promise you that when you encourage people, it will lift them up. It'll unlock their potential. And if you want your potential to be unlocked, you want cycles in your family to be broken, you want all those things to happen, encouragement is at the root of all of it. So here's an encouragement that my pop said to me always, every single day of my life. He said, boy, you're the greatest. And then he ended up with a charge, so act accordingly. And if every single one of us understood and knew at our core that we were the absolute greatest, that what we were put on this earth to be, and then we acted according to that greatness, you would find that leadership would become so simple because leaders wouldn't have to push, but also leaders would be settling in and seeing that the superpower and the unfair advantage that they can give to every single person in their organization, every single person around them, every single person in their family, that unfair advantage that they could give that doesn't cost anything is simply encouraging someone at the highest level. Well, I want to thank every single one of you guys for tuning in. If you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, anything like that, make sure you subscribe. Check out the newsletter. You got the book, The Vibe. And also, if you want to be encouraged every single day, I tell you, the Inchstones, The Vibe Within, there's a playbook that we have, and the link is in the bio. And this playbook takes you through the corresponding proverb, corresponding day, and then it asks you 3 simple questions. What verse hit your heart? What did it make you think about? And what action can you add to it today? It's got availability for 3 months. And I tell you, when you do this, it's transformational in your life. I want to thank you all for tuning in. It is my absolute honor to spend time with you. Thank you for subscribing to the podcast. I appreciate you. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got 2 shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised.